Well, good morning, and welcome both inside the Crockett Center and across ESPN Plus for this very exciting day in the history of Belmont basketball. A rare day in the history of Belmont basketball because, as many of you know, there have been just now 3 coaches in men's basketball history over the last 4 decades in a program that is a standard of excellence in college basketball. 16 straight 20-win seasons. Only Gonzaga and Kansas can match that feat. After this past season and the excellence of several of the young men standing over there to the side, conference titles, combined regular season and tournament over the past 21 seasons. And a team that has earned 15 postseason trips in that time as well. You're not going to find many programs of this caliber that have done that. In addition, Belmont basketball has produced a huge tree of successful former players. You'll find them as doctors, you'll find them as lawyers, other professionals out there, and you will certainly find them in basketball. And the person we will introduce today is considered one of the brightest, most talented young minds in the sport of basketball, now at both the NBA and the college level. He learned from one of the best here in Rick Byrd. He's learned from some of the best around the sport of basketball. Brad Stevens, we all know that name. Will Hardy of the Utah Jazz. John Shire this past year at Duke and in the NCAA tournament. And now we have the opportunity to welcome Evan Brads back home to Belmont. And just a little bit of the inside of the logistics of how this day would happen is obviously Evan's been pretty busy over the last months trying to get Duke as deep into the tournament as possible. So there were several contingency plans since the announcement that Evan would return home as the 11th men's basketball coach here at Belmont of when this day could possibly happen. And finally it got down to either this morning or sometime in the future, depending on what happened over the weekend, and I won't bring too much of that up, Evan, but I can tell you that maybe the only person who was more disappointed about the finish to that game is our next speaker, the president of Belmont University, an enormous Duke basketball fan, Dr. Greg Jones.
But it's very clear that I'm a bigger Belmont fan than any other team included. This is a great day for Belmont basketball, for Belmont athletics, and even more for Belmont University. I had the privilege of getting to know Evan a year ago when we had breakfast. Just a get to know you kind of casual conversation when Susan and I were in Durham for a few days on vacation. And I came back from that breakfast and I said, boy, Evan is incredibly impressive. His maturity, we did talk some Duke basketball, some X's and O's, and I thought, boy, he's a great basketball mind, and he's an even better person. When Casey decided to go to Kansas State, Scott and I immediately engaged in some conversations about the range of candidates we'd look to interview and talk with, and Evan was at the top of the list. We knew that there was a time-sensitive dynamic because they were in the ACC. Duke was in the ACC tournament, and then there was going to be the NCAA run. We figured out there'd be a window on a Sunday afternoon between when Duke beat Virginia in the ACC championship and the selection show later that day. So Scott and I made our way to Durham. And when Evan came into that conversation, I was so impressed by his preparation. He'd already done so much homework. And then he talks about his love for Belmont, having been here as a student and the formation that he had while he was here, not only as a student athlete, but as a student. You all know he was an All-American on the court. He was an academic All-American off the court. And as I talked to him about what was attractive, and he talked about Belmont basketball, the kind of statistics that Steve was just describing, and then he said this. He said, as much as I learned from Coach Bird on the court, I learned even more from him about how to be a good person off the court. It was all the little things that go into being a great coach. How you talk with the bus driver, how you talk to hotel clerks, how you talk to ordinary folks who make life possible for you. And I thought, he really gets Belmont, the Belmont way. Belmont basketball, Belmont athletics, Belmont University strives for excellence with humility. We focus on that soul framework, on what it means to be a good person, character, purpose. We like to win on the court. We care even more about being excellent off the court. And with Evan's appointment, he stands in a great tradition that includes Casey Alexander, it includes Bart Brooks, and especially it goes back to the two people who have done so much over more than 4 decades to make Belmont basketball such a central part of our identity and our soul. Betty Wiseman with the women's program, Coach Rick Bird with the men's program. It didn't take long for us to realize that Evan Brads would stand in great continuity with that extraordinary tradition that we have here at Belmont. These are chaotic times in college athletics, and Belmont continues to do it the right way, seeking to win on the court, fostering teamwork and character in all that we are and all that we do, doing it with integrity, and doing it in a way that builds the Belmont brand and helps to cultivate the sense of Belmont as a place that forms leaders of character. Evan Brads will continue that as a leader at Belmont in all that he does. And we're thrilled to be welcoming Evan and Mackenzie to our community and to the broader Brads family. We're thrilled to welcome you back to the Belmont family. Coach Brads, we look forward to your leadership on and off the court and in all that you do. It's a great day for Belmont.
Thank you, President Jones. We appreciate your leadership and certainly appreciate you being here as well today. A lot of you will know and remember that Evan is the all-time leading scorer in the Division I era of basketball here at Belmont, but I will say the play I actually remember most from Evan's time is not a score of his own, but I think speaks to part of the reason why he's here today. During one of the rivalry games against Lipscomb, they scored in the final seconds of the game. And as he was instructed by Coach Bird at the end of the game, don't call a timeout, don't let the defense set, take it right out of the rim and throw a baseball pass the length of the court and try to beat the defense down the floor. And Evan threw a strike to Dylan Windler for the game-winning layup to win the rivalry game again. I think that speaks a lot about Evan and what's going on upstairs, the cerebral part of the game that he just always understood. And I think we've seen glimpses of that in his coaching career as well. You may have seen a social media clip recently, I saw it in real time, where Evan communicated a play to John Shire on the sideline during one of Duke's NCAA tournament games. And it looked like there was a little switch based off of what the defense was doing there. And it led to an alley-oop pass from Cam Boozer to Malik Brown for a dunk in the middle of one of their NCAA tournament wins. Evan's training at Belmont has prepared him well for the next step. And now, the next speaker here, Scott Corley, the athletic director, acted swiftly to bring Evan back home and continues great leadership of this athletics program. And I should add, bested Evan by about 150 points all-time during his career, if you go back to the NAIA days. Scott Corley, the athletics director.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. Who's counting the points, though, Evan? Doesn't matter at this point. Welcome, everybody, man. What a great turnout. It is so good to see so many friendly faces here to celebrate an exciting day for Belmont basketball. I do want to take time to thank a few people that made today happen, including Josh Ward, who is our Senior Associate AD of External Engagement, Greg Sage, Associate AD for Broadcasting and Media, Christian Sadler, our Video Expertise Assistant AD for Video Operations, and then Megan Brown and John Wharton from our Event Services staff. I mean, to pull something off like this in 2 days is quite the feat, and I'm just really grateful for the teamwork demonstrated to get this done. So thanks to those folks. I also want to thank a few people that assisted me during this search, and as we noted, it was a quick search, but I do want to thank Renee Schultz, a Senior Associate AD for Student Athlete Success at SWA, for her wisdom and guidance. I could always bounce ideas off her, and she's always there to help. Definitely want to thank Coach Bird. Coach was one of the first ones to reach out and offer a helping hand. You continue to be just a great resource for me, Coach, and I'm forever grateful on that. And then lastly, Greg Jones. I got to thank Greg. As Greg said, he dropped everything for this to go see Evan on a Sunday. And that meant the world to me. And as he said, we had a lot of conversations, but we were synced up on this decision pretty early, and it was great to have him walking side by side, and I continue to thank you for your continued support and leadership, Greg. Thanks a lot. So for me, this is a surreal moment. I first met Evan when he was a freshman at Belmont in 2013. He was actually a suite mate with my son Carson in Patton Hall. So I got to see Evan on his very first day of his Belmont journey. I then got to attend his wedding to his beautiful wife, Mackenzie, who is here today, as we know. And Mackenzie, I just want to say thanks for sharing Evan with us. And I'm extremely excited to welcome you into the Belmont family. So thanks for that. So to go from kind of knowing the kid, a young kid in 2013, to be sitting on the stage with him today is pretty cool. So it's a crazy experience here. So you may be asking, you've heard some of it, but what stood out as we were evaluating Evan? And a couple things came to light pretty quick. To begin with, in my conversations with Brad Stevens, who we all know is the president of the Boston Celtics, Will Hardy, the head coach at the Utah Jazz, and then John Shire, the head coach at Duke, they all spoke of his work ethic, incredible work ethic, his ability to connect with people, particularly the players, and his incredible basketball IQ at such a young age. So, pretty high praise. You could almost just stop there, right? And as an AD, who hopefully is an okay AD, you're pretty wise to listen to those three guys, and you could just almost make your decision then. But I think what stood out, all three, without even asking, they said how much Evan loves Belmont, and that this was his dream job. And while I hope to hear that, you never really know. I mean, here's a guy who's paved the path in the NBA, he's coaching at a school like Duke. You just didn't know. And so, and it was reaffirmed when Greg and I visited with Evan how much this meant to him, how much the opportunity meant to him, how much he wanted to be at Belmont. And for somebody like me who's been involved with Belmont basketball for 40 years, that was hugely important. There's a lot of value on the way we do things, and to have that continuity was important to me. And so, what I would say, Bruin Nation, is we are very lucky, very blessed to find someone in Evan who understands Belmont, understands our core values, understands our standards, understands character development, and embraces our winning tradition. He is definitely the right guy to represent Belmont and the right guy to move us forward in the Missouri Valley Conference. So without further ado, please welcome Devin Braz as our 11th coach.
really wanted to start out this moment in this speech by saying thank you to Scott Corley, Dr. Jones, for this opportunity. You know, to say this is a dream come true doesn't do that term any justice. Never in my wildest dreams would I have ever thought I'd be standing here before you guys today. This opportunity is one that I do not take lightly, and I promise you that you guys will not regret this. I think that first conversation that we had in Durham, it was clear to see that all three of us were aligned. We share the same passion, we share the same commitment, and the same vision for Belmont University and Belmont basketball as a whole. Their dedication to not just the students, but the student athletes of this university was something that I really respected and truly care about. I want to thank my wife, Mackenzie. Your support through all this, allowing me to chase my dream and turn it into a reality, does not go unnoticed every day. We're coming up on 5 years of marriage, and this will be our 4th state in those 5 years. The sacrifices you have made and that you continue to make for us and our family, I think about them every single day. I love you, I thank you, and I can't wait to go on this journey with you. To my family, my friends who are here today, you guys have been the foundation of my life since the beginning. You guys have pushed me, supported me, loved me, and made me the man that I am today. I want to shout out my agent, Evan Daniels, not just the best agent in the game, but one of my closest friends. Your advice, your guidance has always helped me navigate this life. This journey started in 2013, like Scott said, when a man took a chance on a kid from Jamestown, Ohio, a town that none of you have ever heard of, and gave him the opportunity to play basketball here. We all know that man, we all care about that man, we all love that man. Coach Bird is the reason that I am here today. Without him taking that chance, I would not be here. And I know you're standing over there, hating every word that I'm saying. But truly, from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you enough for those phone calls when I was a junior and senior in high school, to you coaching me the way you did. Every single day, I strive to be half as good as you were, and are to this day. You are the reason I coach, and I wouldn't be here without you. After college, my journey took an unexpected turn. After I thought I was going to play forever, just like every other young kid, I kind of fell into coaching, quickly because of an injury. This journey has taken me to some wild places that I could have never imagined. It all started when I packed up my Nissan Altima and drove from Jamestown, Ohio to Portland, Maine. Never would have ever thought I'd live in Maine. From Maine, I went to Boston, from Boston to Salt Lake City, from Salt Lake City to Durham, and now back to Nashville. I've been fortunate enough to work for some of the best in the business. Scott, Dr. Jones spoke about some of them, but all of those people invested a lot of time and energy into making me the man I am today and the coach that I am today. I try to view myself as a blend, a mashup of all of them, and the energy and effort that they put into me is something I'll never forget. I think back to the guys like Brad Stevens, like Will Hardy, John Shire, who gave me opportunities that changed my life in so many different ways. From moving from Boston with my wife to Mackenzie all the way to Utah, and then Utah to Durham, and again now back to Nashville. Those opportunities are something that I'll never forget, and will always cherish those memories. My overall coaching philosophy is rooted in the players. I had a lot of coaches, Coach Ayers, Coach Bird, Coach Strong, Coach Price, invested a lot of time and energy into me as a player. I believe the players are the foundation of this program. Not only talented players, but better human beings. And my overall coaching philosophy is how can I help those guys every single day become the best versions of themselves on and off the court. I know that was deeply true for Coach Bird, for Coach Ayers, and all the other coaches, and it's something that's going to be a staple for this program for many years to come. Belmont basketball has a long and proud tradition that I am excited to continue. I think back to what makes this place so special, and I always come back to the people. I think about the former players from all eras of Belmont basketball, the NAIA days, the transition to Division I, the Atlantic Sun teams, the Ohio Valley teams, and now the Missouri Valley. Again, we have a long-standing tradition of success built by talented players but better human beings. That is something that is going to continue forward for many years to come. As I walked around campus yesterday, it's easy to see why we all love this place. The campus is obviously beautiful. But as I walked into the athletic department for the first time in almost 10 years now, I saw a lot of familiar faces. Heather, Renee, John Langdon, wherever you are, Greg Sage. The time, the investment that our athletic department pours in to student athletes, not just as players of their respective sport, but as people, is what makes this place what it is. I come back to the people and everything that I think about. That is what truly makes Belmont so special. With all that being said, I'm excited to become the next men's basketball coach here at Belmont. The future for Belmont basketball is bright. I truly believe that the best days are ahead. We have everything that we need to take us to the next level. It's right in front of us. I think to our leadership from Scott, Dr. Jones, our athletic department, our senior leadership, we have the support and everything we need. We have this beautiful practice facility. It doesn't get much better than this. And again, I come back to the former players. A lot of them are here today, and a lot of former teammates who built this program, still care about this program, and love this program, and will continue to do that for years to come. There are challenges that come with this, of course, but helping navigate those, I know that these are the perfect partners for me for many years to come. I'm excited to get to work. The future is bright. I thank every single one of you for coming out today, not only supporting me, but supporting Belmont University as a whole and Belmont basketball. I will always thank everyone in this room just for the support of our players, attending games. I look forward to meeting every single one of you. Go Bruins.
And congratulations again. We thank you all for being here. I am certainly excited about that. I know everybody up here on stage is excited about this. We certainly hope you are as well. A reminder that tickets pretty much always on sale at BelmontBruins.com if you want to get in early for next year. And then just a couple announcements as we wrap up. If you are a former player, Coach Bird, family, if you would gather up here as soon as we wrap this up to do some pictures with Evan. And then for all the media, we'll do question and answer over to the left-hand side of the stage as we wrap up here. So thank you very much for coming, and go Bruins.